He knocked once, soft, hesitant, as if the wood between us could undo 2 years of silence. I opened the door just enough for him to see what he came for. A little boy standing behind me, his eyes the exact shade of his father's, the real one. His lips trembled. Is that I shut the door before he could finish? My hands didn't shake. They used to. Not anymore. Tonight wasn't about pain. It was about closure. I still remember the smell of smoke from that night. Not from fire, but from the ashes of my old life. His brother Ryan stood in the living room, tears painted on his face, voice trembling with rehearsed grief. She seduced me, he said. She told me it's mine. She's pregnant. And my husband didn't even blink. Didn't ask, didn't check, didn't see me. He spat at my feet. His mother cursed me, wailing about shame and sin. His sisters dragged me outside, screaming about how I destroyed their family. The neighbors watched, cameras clicked, and through all of it, he said nothing, just silence. Then the door slammed behind me, sealing my exile. I didn't cry that night. Tears are for people who still believe they can be heard. I went to a clinic the next morning, hands trembling as I signed the papers. The doctor smiled softly. Healthy baby, congratulations. Mine, not Ryan's. Never his. But truth means nothing without proof. And back then I had neither. So I disappeared, changed cities, changed names, learned silence. I carried my child in a world that believed I was filth. The nights were long, but silence gives birth to clarity, and clarity gives birth to Toplins. I found out what Ryan wanted. My husband's inheritance, the business, the trust fund, the legacy their father left behind. He knew my husband wouldn't fight him. He trusted him too much. So Ryan needed me gone, and my husband gave him exactly what he needed. Blind faith. Revenge didn't come in fury. It came in patience. I studied every document, every transfer, every hidden lie Ryan buried in spreadsheets and signatures. I found the shell company he created, the forged deals, the offshore accounts. I sent them anonymously to the auditors, to the bank, to the press. Each move quiet, precise, invisible. Within 6 months, the family name was in headlines. Company heir under investigation. Assets frozen. Partners withdrawing. His mother fainted in court. My husband lost everything, not because of me, but because he refused to see what was in front of him. Still, I stayed silent. I didn't want to clear my name. I wanted them to remember the lie they built and watch it eat them alive. 2 years passed before he found me. He looked thinner, older, a man who'd finally run out of excuses. I let him in this time. The boy ran to his room, my cue that this wasn't his moment to witness. He stood in the middle of my small living room, eyes scanning the walls, the photos, the life I built without him. Then they stopped on the picture of my son, his son. I need to know, he whispered. Is he mine? I didn't answer. I just handed him the envelope inside the DNA report. 2 years old, a perfect match. He staggered back as if truth had teeth. I didn't know, he said, voice breaking. You didn't want to know, I corrected. He sank into the chair, head in his hands. Ryan's gone, he's in prison. I should have trusted you. I looked at him, this man who once spat at me like I was dirt. He was smaller now, human. And for the first time, I felt nothing. Trust, I said quietly, isn't something you give once. It's what you protect every day. You didn't lose me because of your brother. You lost me because you believed him. He looked up, eyes glassy. Can I see him? Just once. I thought about it. The child who'd never asked about his father. The nights I held him, whispering stories about strength and truth. No, I said, not yet. He stood up slowly. What do I say then? I walked to the door and opened it for him. Say nothing. That's what you were good at. He hesitated. You got your revenge? I smiled faintly. Revenge? I shook my head. No, I got peace. The rest was justice catching up. He left without another word. The door closed behind him, a softer sound this time. Not an ending, but an echo. Later that night, I sat beside my son as he slept, his small hand curled around mine. He breathed evenly, unbothered, untouched by the chaos that once defined me. I whispered into the dark, not to him, but to the version of me that once begged for mercy. You made it. Outside, the rain began to fall. Gentle cleansing. And somewhere in the city, Aman finally understood what it felt like to lose something real. I didn't need his apology. I had already spoken my truth, not in words, but in silence. Because sometimes the sweetest revenge is being the one who never had to scream to be right.